They marched in with no warning. I couldn't think. I just ran.
Easy. You're here now. Where did they come?
Envoy! What does the Garrote think they're doing? It's an outrage. What did the artisans or merchants do to them? First my assistants, now this. Why can't they settle these things over tea for once?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be here.
If you're looking for survivors, a few of us fled to the Balrog.
How many?
I'm not sure. I saw Sapiento. God, I hope they're not trapped in there. I am sorry I can't be more help. You always were a forgiving friend.
We should move. Let's hope the Garrote hasn't made it to the Balrog yet.
Envoy, wait! Before you go, I may have something for you. I took some supplies when I ran. If you think they'll help, they're yours. I'll even give you a discount. You know, for saving the city and everything.
Why is there snow here?
It's gotta be Ringgrim's work. I heard Archmage's presence is an omen.
A familiar face. We meet again, Envoy. Paradise burns, thanks to Ludwine and the Steel Garrote laying siege to it. But the Dream Scourge is gone. It's remarkable how hard you mortals fight for causes that'll be forgotten within centuries. Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions. The end of a god is a complicated thing. It may take centuries for the repercussions to fully reveal themselves. Mostly, I'm curious about whether you think you've made the right choice. Ah, that mortal zeal. Always so fun. We will see if you're correct. I am interested in seeing the outcome of your story, Envoy. With luck, it won't end with you also on fire. I prefer ice, personally. But to each their own. Goodbye, Envoy. And Yardsley, I do look forward to when all of this is done. I am eager to work with you.
Oh, yes. Well,
My research awaits.
patience. I'm almost ready.
Shall ripple across the living land. Oh, Envoy. How good to see you here as we stand together at the brink of this historic event. I don't know if thank you is precisely what I want to say, but I am grateful to you for bringing Dolna's theft to light. Paradise burns from the torches of the Steel Garrote. The people of the living lands stand ready to defend their home. Yes. What happens in Paradise now will decide the fate of the Parkrunen after all.
What's the plan if Paradise falls?
We will find a way to persevere. We Parkrunen have a gift for surviving inhospitable conditions, and always have. Whatever the outcome of the upcoming battle, do not forget us. I fear that more than our deaths. If Edir and the Steel Garrote have their way, they'll strip the history books of any mention of our culture and our ways. Future generations will only ever know us as an appendage of the Empire. I hope it doesn't come to that. Only if that is all you've ever known. We can agree to disagree, I suppose. That's as much as I'll say. You have a role in deciding what happens next. Do the right thing, Envoy. Let history remember you for the correct reasons. You have the power to answer our prayers, Envoy. Use that power wisely.
Envoy, I knew you'd show up eventually.
How is Emerald Stair? More importantly, how are you?
Thriving on both counts, I'm happy to report. My revenants were very happy in Paradise until the Steel Garrote stepped out of line. When I heard tensions were brewing, I thought to myself, this is a job for the undead. So I gathered the flock. Not to worry. They get spooked by gunfire, the sight of blood, and, well, almost anything. I'll keep them on a tight leash, just in case the Steel Garrote breach our defenses. Better to have them and not need them. Emerald Stair is healing, believe it or not. Once this is over, our crops will flourish like never before. Indeed. The metaphysical currents of the living lands are beginning to settle. Best of luck out there. And don't worry about a thing. My flock will keep us safe and
Enjoy your creepy corpse friends, or whatever.
We know you. Did you help us? We must have taken. We smell steel. Should we run? Or could we stay here and tend? Fidelio sang for us. We must help him. Adelaro. Does he fight for us? Why do we...
I thought Helena would be safer if she were here with me.
Envoy, how did you... I don't know. Where did you come from? You just appeared out of nowhere. Once word about Paradise reached us, we were allowed to go. But listen to me rambling. Forgive me, Envoy. I won't keep you long. I just want to make one request while you're here. As much as you can. Be good to the living lands.
I'd just like for us to live lives that are free. For us. Not Agdir to determine our fates. It's going to be up to you, Envoy. I know you have much to do, so I'll just leave you with that. Thank you. It all comes down to this, doesn't it?
Trust your compass, and you will lead each other to victory. The time for standing by is over.
Everything good?
Envoy? Is it really you? Kostya told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god.
When you didn't come out, we assumed you were dead.
Did you meet your god there? The one whose marks you bear?
It's too preposterous to believe. How could a plague be ended by speaking with a god?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
So you say. But Shatterscarp is still littered with dream thralls, and Temerty is still pacing her room, muttering in the dark.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but.
What of this god, then? What does it mean that you destroyed them?
Ludwig had intimated that this land grew a new god. But how can that be?
Preposterous or not, it's happened. The Godless yearned to build something new, and over hundreds of years, they did. A god. I suspect this god of theirs, Sapadal, was created from Echidan souls. Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority, so she killed the Godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
We were no stranger to them in Fiorme Siverno. They harrowed our fields, tore our homes in half.
Similar roots had infected the structures at Naku Kubel. If they and the Dream Scourge were really the work of a god, and the other gods saw fit to cage this god, sounds like the Envoy did the Living Lands a favor in destroying them.
I don't doubt Wodka will ensure you a prosperous future on your next turn about the wheel.
I fear the turmoil their freedom might have brought to the Living Lands. But I worry your choice could have unforeseen consequences, Envoy.
Nandru feared this creature enough to hide them from the Wardens and construct solace to keep watch. We are safer without them.
This Sapadal could have put the Living Lands on the map. Who would dare stand toe-to-toe against a rogue god we controlled?
Well, whomever takes this island in the end will live in freedom from fear of a resurgent plague, thanks to you. But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwig has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking. Just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwig's run through the militia like a whirlwind.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
Oh, cheer up. You wouldn't be the first to make that mistake. Might not be the last either, depending on how things go. So long as her passion for Wodica lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwig who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her steel garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden.
The steel garrote broke through several days ago. As far as we can tell, Central Paradise has been completely overrun. What citizens still live are no doubt in hiding, including many of my people.
You couldn't have known this would happen. Don't take the guilt of the steel garrote upon yourself.
Some Paradisans got out, but we expect hundreds have been killed.
Thirdborn still suffers from the Dream Scourge. Though you may have ended the plague, Envoy, many in Shatterscarp still are not themselves. I could bring no more than a handful when we heard.
The Wardens largely survived the keep's destruction, but we are in a desperate state. My men are salvaging what they can from the rubble. Medicine is in short supply. They will march to Paradise as soon as they can, but I fear they will arrive to find the city in ashes.
Well, that's been a point of debate. We can't agree on how to stand against the steel garrote, nor who should lead the effort.
There are too few of us to risk an uncoordinated effort.
So you let the Paradise militia go it alone?
Even if our meager forces should make it inside.
The siege won't end until Ludwig does. And none of you know how to kill her.
Precisely. The lawful settlement of a new Adirian colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Wodican state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement. Somewhere inside that hollow head of hers, I believe she always hoped she'd turn you to her side. Remember, she has an obligation to Wodica, a solemn oath. And neither the steel garrote nor the queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig in the tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence. Why are you treating him with kid gloves when Paradise cries out for help?
Enough. I've heard your concerns. We cannot change it now. The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands. What passes between Ludwig and her men, or between Ludwig and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair. But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Oh, I can't wait to see how you weasel out of this one.
I know it will. We are leading by example, returning order and dignity to Paradise in the wake of the Clavager's death. We will do the same to the frontier, given the chance.
Where was order and dignity when the Steel Garrote attacked my home?
My administration had nothing to do with that, as I know you know. Adiran rule and rule by the Steel Garrote would be markedly different beasts.
Spoken like a fucking diplomat. Splitting hairs when it all comes from the same head.
You have been the embodiment of Adir's promise, envoy. Don't forget that.
Isn't Paradise, its port, its trade, enough for you?
Ludwig agrees. Our success would model the order and dignity of the Steel Garrote, for whatever that's worth.
You think I'll ignore what I've seen with my own eyes? The Empire has brought us nothing but chaos and suffering.
Oh, are we all supposed to spout patriotic Saka now, or just these two?
The Inquisitor answers only to Wodekan. In attacking Paradise, she has dragged us all far beyond the bounds of the Emperor's desires. I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine. Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here. The Living Lands would become an extension of the Adiran Empire in leadership and law. Soldiers bearing the flag of Adir would be garrisoned in every town. They would be paid in Adiran shelling and speak only the Adiran language. Their roads would be smooth Adiran roads. Their medicine would be hygienic Adiran medicine. And their weapons would be efficient Adiran weapons. Our customs would become their customs. Our strengths would become their strengths. Our emperor would become their emperor. Turned toward a common purpose. No one, not Rawatai, not the Valian republics, not even a rogue god, would dare attack the Living Lands. This island would be safe for the first time in its history, and safe it would remain.
The Empire's prosperity would be our prosperity. The people of this blasted island could know security and comfort for the first time in their lives. My wardens deserve no less. I say it's an offer worth considering.
The only threat I see on the horizon comes from Adir itself. You want me to thank this thief for protecting me from my purse? They can't offer us anything we don't already have.
Under my leadership, the city my father founded was nearly destroyed. Hundreds of people could have died or been left without a home. I may have failed my people, but it was your Empire's soldiers who made it so.